The oppressive humidity hung thick in the air as I ventured deep into the heart of the Louisiana swamp. The night was hot, and the cicadas played a symphony of eerie tones. I had heard tales of the supernatural lurking in these murky waters, but nothing could prepare me for the chilling adventure that awaited. Alone in the small swamp town, I felt the isolation intensify as the deafening buzz of insects surrounded me. The wooden planks of the boardwalk groaned under each step, creating a haunting soundtrack to my journey. The flickering lanterns barely illuminated the path ahead, casting long, ominous shadows that seemed to dance with unseen entities. As I delved deeper into the swamp's depths, the air grew heavier, and the croaking of frogs became an unsettling chorus. The townsfolk had warned me of a terrestrial being, a creature said to emerge from the depths when the night was at its darkest. Legend spoke of a spectral figure that blended seamlessly with the moss-draped trees, an entity that sought solace in the shadows. The winding trails led me to an ancient graveyard, where the mist rose like ethereal spirits from the still waters. My heart raced, a primal fear coursing through my veins. Every rustle in the underbrush and every ripple on the water heightened my senses. The swamp seemed to come alive with whispers, as if the very trees and waters were conspiring against me. I stumbled upon a weathered sign, barely visible in the dim light, warning of the being that haunted the town, a creature known as the Bayou Phantom. Determined to capture evidence of this supernatural entity, I set up my camera in a clearing, the lens pointed into the abyss of the swamp. The air grew thick with tension, and an unnatural stillness settled over the landscape. I strained to see beyond the lantern's glow, my imagination running wild with the tales I'd heard. Suddenly, a bone-chilling sound echoed through the swamp, a mournful wail that sent shivers down my spine. The bayou seemed to respond, the water rippling as if disturbed by an unseen force. Fear gnawed at me, but I held my ground, desperate to capture proof of the Bayou Phantom. As I reviewed the footage on my camera, the swamp came alive with ethereal figures. Wisps of fog twisted and twirled, forming ghostly shapes that danced among the trees. The camera captured a shadowy silhouette moving with an otherworldly grace, confirming the existence of the elusive Bayou Phantom. Just as the thrill of discovery coursed through me, an unsettling realization dawned. The spectral figures in the footage were not random manifestations but seemed eerily familiar. Panic set in as I recognized the silhouettes. They mirrored the townspeople, each one a face I had encountered during my stay. Confused and terrified, I retraced my steps, the swamp now a labyrinth of shadows closing in around me. The lanterns flickered ominously, and the once familiar paths twisted into a disorienting maze. The oppressive heat intensified, and the night seemed to stretch endlessly. In a clearing, I stumbled upon an old, weather-beaten hut, its door slightly ajar. Cautiously, I pushed it open, revealing a dimly lit room adorned with relics of a forgotten time. The air hung heavy with the scent of moss and decay. In the center of the room, a figure sat hunched over, their face concealed by a hood. "Welcome, seeker," a raspy voice echoed, sending a chill down my spine. The figure slowly lifted its head, revealing eyes that glowed with an otherworldly intensity. It was the Bayou Phantom, but its appearance held an unsettling truth: it was no supernatural being. The figure before me was a shaman, draped in tattered clothing adorned with symbols of the swamp's ancient spirits. As the shaman spoke, the tales unraveled. The Bayou Phantom was not a malevolent entity, but a guardian spirit, protecting the town from external threats. The townspeople, realizing the power of belief, had conjured the phantom to ward off intruders. The spectral figures in the footage were not the townspeople themselves but manifestations created by the shaman's ritual, a collective illusion to maintain the town's secret. As the truth settled in, I understood the price of unraveling the mystery. The shaman offered a cryptic warning before vanishing into the shadows, leaving me alone in the heart of the swamp. As I stumbled out of the hut, the once menacing shadows seemed to retreat, the lanterns casting a dim glow on the path ahead. The realization of the town's collective deception hung heavy in the air, and I left the swamp with a newfound understanding. The boundary between the supernatural and the mundane blurred in the depths of the Louisiana bayou.